Hi everyone, hope all of you are doing super well, and in this video I want to share with you some effective ways of doing SWOTing. So what is SWOTing? I've taken a video on how do we perform SWOT analysis and why do we do it. So if you haven't got to see that video, I'll share the link in the description box. And once you've known what is SWOT analysis, then here are some ways that you can do effective SWOT analysis, and that's what we're going to see in this video. So there are a couple of steps that need to be followed in order to go about this entire analysis. So as we know, SWOT analysis is all about understanding what is the current state of an organization or an entity, okay? And it's factual, okay? It's not assumptions that an organization makes. So to be factual, we need to back up with data, our decisions and our opinions and perspectives. So there are a couple of steps that you need to follow in order to make that SWOT analysis effective, okay? So the very first one is to set the objective, okay? Whenever you want to perform a SWOT analysis, the first one you need to do is set an objective. Why? Because only when you set an objective, you will get to know, or the team members would also know, what is the main objective of having this SWOT analysis. They would be able to think from that perspective, and they would be able to analyze and synthesize information from that particular perspective. For example, let's say that you want to, for example, an organization wants to enter a new market, or they want to launch a new product. So at that time they would want to do a SWOT analysis. So when you set the right objective, the objective of this analysis is to understand whether we should be entering a new market or whether we should be launching a new product, for example, then people, they would be able to come up with ideas and they would be able to analyze in a better way. The next step is to gather data and resources, okay? So as I said, when you do SWOT analysis, it's more of a factual analysis. So you need data to back up. So before starting with the SWOT analysis, you need to identify what are all the different data to which I have access to. When I say I, it's the organization on the whole. And what are the different limitations that we see when we have this data? Do we have data? Do we don't have data? Is the data reliable? Where is this data coming from? And it's very important that not only you take into account the internal data just to understand the organization's strengths and weaknesses, but it's important to even check out the external factors, because there are external influencers, as we've seen in the SWOT analysis. So we need to check out the external data of markets, sales, and the trends, competitors out there. All this contributes to the external data. So once you have the data ready, you even need to get the right resources, that is the right members into that conversation. You need to ensure that not only people who have an internal perspective of the organization, people should also have external information about the external influencers, which is the opportunities, the threats that they see outside. So it's very important to get all these people and the right people so that the entire analysis would be a value driven and more productive conversation and decisions would be made. The third one is to generate ideas. Now that you have the data with you and you have the objective, now you need to start generating ideas. And what are these ideas? Ideas are about what do people think about the strengths of an organization or a product or whatever on which you're doing the analysis. What are the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and what are the threats? So when you generate ideas, people think from that perspective of what is the objective, and they start generating these ideas. The fourth step is to categorize and prioritize these ideas. Now, just because people gave A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats doesn't mean everything is right. So there would be different opinions. So in order to come to a consensus, you first need to categorize the ideas, and then you need to start prioritizing and discussing with the team as to what are actually the threats or the weaknesses or the opportunities that the organization foresees or sees. And sometimes there would be some, what to say, people would not be in agreement with a particular fact or with a particular idea. So at that time, you need more people coming in to start prioritizing and to addressing the right threat, the right opportunity. That's where some negotiations, and I would not say negotiation, but some consensus needs to be arrived at. And the last one is setting the strategy. Now, when you exactly know what is going to be the threats, what are the opportunities, what are the strengths and weaknesses, what do we need to focus on, should we really, enter that new market, or should we launch that product? Once you have an idea, a clear cut idea, then you can set the strategy of how are you going to achieve that particular goal or that business need. Okay, so next time, before you even jump into a SWOT analysis, don't jump in without doing all these steps, or rather without doing the first two steps, I would say. And then once you're in that analysis phase, you can proceed with the other steps. So I hope that you got some information on how do you do effective SWOT analysis. So if you like this video, please do give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel, and also do share your feedbacks. It's very, very, very valuable for me. So thank you and take care.